Welcome to the deep dive. We're here to really dig into the key insights from, well, a whole stack of sources just for you. Today, we're tackling something many, maybe most, ambitious aesthetic practitioners grapple with. It's that crucial step, turning those initial consultations into, real committed patient relationships.
It's a fascinating area because you spend years, honing those clinical skills, literally changing lives. But there's this kind of paradox, right? Before you can work that magic on appearances, you've got to master the conversation. And that's not always taught.
Exactly. And that's where we're focusing today. We're drawing heavily from the masterclass of Dr. Ari Masudi. His background is really interesting: molecular biologist, regenerative medicine researcher, now a science tech business consultant. Quite the shift.
It gives him a unique perspective, definitely. He talks about these science-backed secrets. And what we're aiming for today is, well, a shortcut for you. It's about understanding the psychological structure, the things that really separate the practices that thrive from those just getting by.
Right. So our mission, if you like, is to unpack Dr. Masudi's playbook. This isn't about turning you into some kind of slick salesperson, not at all. It's about becoming a master communicator, a trusted guide, someone who gets the psychology as well as the procedure.
So where do we start with mastering conversation, according to Dr. Masudi? Maybe not where you'd think. He says trust isn't built when you're explaining the treatment details or showing those amazing before and afters.
Oh, so when is it built?
It's won or lost, he argues, in the first 180 seconds, the first 3 minutes.
Wow, okay, that's fast. So it's not just about collecting medical history then?
Not primarily, no. He calls it an intricate psychological dance. In those first 3 minutes, the patient's subconscious is running a kind of sophisticated risk assessment.
A risk assessment, what are they assessing?
Basically, can I trust this person with my face, with my worries, my vulnerabilities? It's deep stuff happening fast. They have this invisible armor up.
Okay, that makes sense, that invisible armor. So how do we get past that in just 3 minutes?
Dr. Masudi talks about subtle mirroring. It sounds technical, maybe, but it's really about being a detective of commonality.
Detective of commonality, like finding shared ground.
Exactly, finding one genuine thread. He gives a great example. You might say, I noticed on your form you're a teacher. My sister teaches high school, 12 years now. She always says it's exhausting but fills her heart. I imagine you get that completely.
Ah, I see. It's specific, personal, and connects to their life.
Precisely. And psychologically, it's powerful. It triggers that feeling of being truly understood. You can almost see people relax, that little shift. The armor starts to come down.
Okay, so you've made that initial connection. How do you build on that and disarm the natural skepticism people might have?
This is where he brings in indisputable truth. It's about shifting the whole feel from you asking questions at them to you exploring something with them.
Collaboration, not interrogation. How does that work in practice?
Well, instead of just, so what brings you in, which can feel a bit clinical.
Yeah, a bit blunt sometimes.
Right. You start with something universally true, something that builds what he calls compliance momentum, little agreements. So you might try something like, I find most patients come see me because there's this disconnect. They feel vibrant inside, energetic. But the mirror doesn't quite show that back. Does that resonate with you at all?
And the answer is almost always going to be yes, or some version of.
Almost inevitably yes. And that first yes, it's small, but it's the start of a psychological journey. You're building partnership from word one. They feel heard before you even talk treatments.
Okay, this is really practical stuff. Now, let's get into something I know a lot of practitioners struggle with: moving someone from just being curious to actually committing. This is where Dr. Masudi introduces a 4-step framework inspired by Milton Erickson, the hypnotherapist.
That's one. It's a framework designed to guide the patient from uncertainty to clarity. Step 1 is fix their attention with a hook.
A hook, like grabbing their interest immediately.
Exactly. Their mind is buzzing cost, pain, opinions.
Yeah.
Need to cut through that noise with something intriguing, something relevant to why they're really there. He suggests having some compelling conversation starters ready. For instance, here's something fascinating I heard at the last aesthetics conference.
Okay.
Research is showing that improving skin radiance, that inner glow, actually makes people perceive us as younger, more dramatically than just treating individual wrinkles. It honestly changed how I approach facial rejuvenation.
That is interesting. It reframes things instantly. Okay, so you've hooked their attention. What's step 2?
Step 2 is present, impossible to contradict ideas. This is about building your credibility, but crucially, linking it to their experience, connecting dots they already recognize as true.
So less about telling them new facts, more about validating what they already kind of know.
Precisely. You build up a library of these universal aesthetic truths, like Dr. Masudi suggests. I bet you felt this frustration. You buy the really expensive skincare, but you still don't get that lifted, tight look you want. That's not you failing. It's just physics, those creams. They simply can't reach reach the structural layers where the real change needs to happen.
Right. That validates their effort, but explains why it wasn't enough. Very smooth. Which leads to step 3. Create a mental imbalance to trigger action. Seems intriguing.
Yeah, he calls it where the magic happens. You share an insight that creates a bit of cognitive dissonance?
Cognitive dissonance, like a conflict in their thinking.
Yeah, discomfort. New information challenges an old belief, and the brain wants to resolve that discomfort, usually by taking action. So you find a common misconception and flip it. His example on fillers is brilliant. You know what most people don't get about modern fillers? The old way was just filling gaps, patching things up. But the new biostimulating fillers, they're more like a personal trainer for your face. They literally teach your own collagen to get back to work. So you see improvement right away, sure, but the real magic unfolds over months as your skin remembers how to be young again.
Wow, personal trainer for your face. That's a powerful metaphor. Okay, so that creates the imbalance. How do you resolve it? Step 4.
Step 4 is guide to a no-pressure decision with future pacing. This is elegant. It doesn't feel like closing a sale at all.
Future pacing, like helping them imagine the results.
Exactly. It's guided visualization, really.
Yep.
Helping them step into that desired future. You use future-focused questions. Dr. Masudi suggests something like, okay, let's just imagine. Fast forward 6 months. You've got that refreshed natural radiance we talked about. You catch a reflection unexpectedly. What's the very first feeling that washes over you?
So you get them to feel the outcome, making the decision less about logic and more about achieving that feeling.
Precisely. It connects the treatment directly to their emotional goal.
This framework is great, but people are different, right? How do you tailor it? Dr. Masudi talks about something called the decision replay. Sounds like uncovering their personal style.
That's exactly it. He says everyone has this unconscious formula, a blueprint for making big decisions. Your job isn't to force your logic on them, but to discover theirs.
Okay, how do you do that? Do you just ask them?
Pretty much, but with a specific question he recommends. I'm curious about how you make decisions. Think about the last time you made a significant investment in yourself that you felt really great about, maybe hiring a trainer, booking that amazing trip, even deciding to come here. What were the key things that made you feel totally confident saying yes?
Okay, and then you just listen.
You listen like a detective, not just what they say, but the exact words in the order. Do they say I needed proof, then I had to trust the person, that it needed to fit my schedule?
The sequence matters.
Hugely. That sequence is their decision DNA. So if that's their order, guess how you structure your proposal?
You give them proof first, then build personal trust, then show how it fits their life.
Bingo. You're not changing their mind. You're speaking their mind's own language. It feels completely natural to them.
That's incredibly insightful. Now, moving beyond the words themselves, Dr. Masudi also emphasizes something often missed, how you sound. Vocal synchronization.
Yeah, this is something they definitely don't cover in med school, right? But how you say something can be even more impactful than what you say. It's about creating vocal rapport, a kind of harmony.
Harmony. How? What elements does he focus on?
The several key things. First, pace and rhythm. Are they speaking slowly, deliberately? Then you match that. Are they fast and energetic? Bring up your energy level slightly. It subtly shows you're on their wavelength.
Okay, matching their speed. What else?
Volume. If they lean in, lower their voice to share something personal, you mirror that. You lower your volume too. It creates intimacy, makes them feel truly heard, like you're sharing a private understanding.
Right, not booming clinical facts at them when they're sharing something sensitive. Makes sense.
Then there's vocabulary, and this is crucial. Use their exact words back to them. If they talk about looking tired or having sad eyes, you use tired and sad eyes. Don't immediately translate it to periorbital volume loss or whatever.
Why is using their exact words so important?
Because their words are packed with their emotion. Medical terms are clinical, detached. Staying in their vocabulary keeps you connected to their feeling. And finally, metaphors. If they use an image, embrace it. If they say their skin feels dull or like it's lost its light,
You run with that.
yes, you might respond, okay, so our goal is to really switch that light back on, restore that beautiful inner radiance that maybe time and stress have dimmed a bit. You're joining them in their mental picture.
This is all about building deep rapport. But even with all this, objections still come up, right? Cost, downtime, fear?
Absolutely. They're inevitable.
Yeah.
But Dr. Masudi has this fantastic reframe. An objection isn't an attack, it's a gift.
A gift. How so?
Because it reveals their deepest fear or their biggest sticking point. It tells you exactly what you need to address to make them feel secure. It's incredibly valuable information.
Okay, I like that reframe. So how do you handle these gifts? Does he offer specific techniques?
He offers 3 really useful ones. The first is simply to reframe the objection. Turn the resistance into basically a request for more information.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Patient says, wow, this seems really expensive. Instead of getting defensive, you reframe. I'm so glad you brought that up. Discussing the investment value is absolutely crucial. Let's break down exactly what you're investing in here so you feel completely confident about the value you're receiving. See, you acknowledged it, then pivoted to value.
Okay. Acknowledge and pivot. What's the second technique?
Use partial agreement. Find something in their logic you can agree with before gently redirecting them.
So, finding common ground first.
Exactly. Patient says, I'm just worried about looking,
Ah.
obvious or overdone. Your response could be, that concern. It shows you have exactly the kind of taste that leads to beautiful, natural results. And honestly, that's precisely why we've chosen this particular approach for you, specifically designed for enhancement, not obvious transformation. You validate their aesthetic sense, then position your plan as the solution to their concern.
That's smart. Validate, then redirect. And the third one, the what-if pivot.
This one's clever. You take their very concern and flip it into the reason to move forward.
How does that work?
Patient says, I'm just not sure it's the right time right now. You could pivot with, that awareness around timing is so important, I agree. And what if we could actually design a treatment plan and schedule that works so perfectly with your life right now that the timing felt absolutely ideal? What if we could have you looking and feeling your absolute best right before that big anniversary trip you mentioned?
Wow, okay. So you take the obstacle timing and turn it into the goal perfect timing for something important to them.
Exactly. You're making their concern the motivation, not the barrier.
It's becoming clear how much the language we use matters, not just the techniques, but the actual words, the energy. Dr. Masudi talks about shifting from passive to active language.
Yes, the energy of your language is huge. Passive, clinical language can, frankly, put people to sleep or make them feel like a case file. Active, emotional language inspires and connects.
So give us some examples of that shift. How do we make our language more active?
Okay, well, to create urgency, instead of saying, this treatment could benefit you, try something more compelling, like, this is your opportunity to reclaim that confidence you told me you've been missing. It's direct, empowering.
Right, opportunity, reclaim, stronger words. What about emotion?
For implying emotion, don't just say, you'll see improvement. Paint a picture. Imagine catching your reflection in a shop window and just feeling that surge of, yes, that confidence you haven't felt in years. Make it sensory, make it emotional.
Feel the feeling again and overcoming indecision.
Instead of a weak, well, you might want to consider this. Be gently decisive. It really sounds like it's time to make the decision to invest in yourself. You absolutely deserve this. It gives them permission in a way.
Okay, one last fascinating psychological bit Dr. Masudi covers, the yes set, building agreement momentum.
Yeah, it's based on that principle of consistency.
Yeah.
The more someone agrees with small things, the easier it is for them to agree with a bigger thing later. It's not about tricking anyone. It's about making the final yes feel like a natural continuation.
So you deliberately build this chain of agreement. How?
You structure a series of small, easy-to-agree with questions early on.
Like what? Give me an example sequence.
Okay, you might start with, so you're here today because you're ready to explore some options for enhancing your natural beauty. Is that right?
Yes. Easy yes.
And, like most of the discerning patients I see, you're looking for results that look completely natural, never fake or obvious, correct?
Yes again. Still easy.
And fundamentally, you want to work with someone who truly understands your goals and has the proven expertise to help you achieve them safely and beautifully.
Yes, of course.
See, by the time you actually present the specific treatment plan, their brain is already in yes mode. Agreeing to the plan feels like the logical next step in a pattern they've already established with you.
It just flows naturally from the conversation they've already been having.
Exactly. It removes that feeling of a big, abrupt decision point.
So let's wrap this up. If we boil down everything we've learned from Dr. Ari Masudi's masterclass today, what's the core takeaway for you, the practitioner listening?
I think the biggest message is you're not selling Botox or filler or a laser treatment. You're not selling a product.
What are you selling then? Or rather, what are you guiding them towards?
You're guiding a transformation. Patients don't ultimately buy treatments. They buy confidence. They buy feeling better about themselves. They buy freedom from an insecurity that's been bugging them. That's the real transaction.
That's a crucial distinction. It changes everything about the conversation.
It really does. Your clinical skills, absolutely vital. They change how people look. But these communication skills we've talked about, they change how people feel about themselves. And that is the difference between a practice that just ticks along and one that genuinely thrives and grows long term.
So a final thought for everyone listening. As you go into your next consultation, maybe even later today, which one of these tools could you try? Just one. Maybe it's finding that point of commonality in the first 3 minutes. Maybe it's using a what-if pivot on an objection. Think about how mastering these communication principles could do more than just build your patient list. It could create genuine advocates, people who rave about you, because you didn't just treat their lines, you made them feel truly seen, understood, and confident.
Well said. It's powerful stuff.
Thank you for diving deep with us today.